What's it like being a Bond villain? This is a Jag, the vehicle of choice for most Bond villains. But this is not your regular old black cat. Is this British brute a project to look out for maybe when you're looking for any form of 2-liter 4-pot like a VRS or a 330i? Well, there's only one way to find out. With a custom full system exhaust, a Stage 2 ECU and a Stage 3 TCU tune, this XE now claims to push 300 horsepower, delivering it to the rear wheels from its 2-liter turbo petrol Ingenium engine. Now the Jag comes into its own element when you talk about how it feels to drive. If a 330i is that athletic human being that can dance really well, this is that man with a dad bod that you would be super surprised at how well he could dance in that shadi. The XE is not really built for carving a corner. However, when you chuck it into a corner, it likes to be like, yes, let's go, let's do this. Until you understand that it's got insane amounts of body roll, and there is a different way of driving it, or at least enjoying how to drive this car. This is not that precision monster. This is the kind of car that you just want to send in the straights and slam the brakes and just fight it through the corner. It feels so raw. It does feel pretty old school. The XE in its stock form came with 247 horses from factory, and when we drove it last time, which was a while ago, we did feel like it was holding itself back. Now with this full system exhaust and a Stage 2 tune from Code 6, it does feel noticeably faster, and it also adds a beautiful soundtrack to your badass movie. However, there are a couple of issues, and the main one is the throttle map. It is pretty notchy in sport, and it's got an insane amount of rev hang. So yes, it might have a flame tune, and that rev hang allows it to basically burn more stuff and do all the flamey stuff outside. Adding a little bit more about the throttle map, I don't know why, but there is this very wild delay to the throttle response. When you accelerate, there is like half a second of delay before the car actually even registers what you have done, and after you let off, it's the same case. There is a little bit of delay before there is a power cut, and that is a little bit alarming because it doesn't really scream responsive, does it? The other big issue for me is the handling. It just doesn't feel planted in the corners. At roughly 1600 kilos, this thing carries a lot of weight, and you usually really feel it when you start pushing hard. The car hesitates and never quite gives you that confidence to commit to a fast corner. What would be the solution? Well, of course, coilovers, but tires and brakes also, because dropping anchor in this car is still a little bit of a sketchy affair, and it is quite squirmy under braking. I could say that maybe just a pad replacement would work, but this does need much more stopping power, especially since it is one chunky boy. And talking about the tires, the state of these tires currently is not that good. which I think could be the reason why I am feeling a little scared in the corners. But I'm pretty sure if you put a good set of rubber in this car, you're going to be a bad man with a big smile through the corners and through the straights. Now this is where the topic gets interesting. The most common concern with Jags are usually their reliability, or rather the lack of it, and the costs related to their ownership. But lately, Jaguars have become comically cheap in the second-hand market, and in the XE's defense, this is the most reliable and most cost-effective Jag to be produced ever. While that spectrum of hope might not sound that convincing, at least getting these up to stage 2 sound like a very good deal. How good of a deal, you ask? Well, here's the math. This car is running a custom downpipe worth 40,000 rupees, a custom Valvetronic exhaust setup costing 70,000 rupees, and a custom mid-section worth 20,000 rupees. Tunes are from Code 6, that is 80,000 rupees for a stage 2 ECU tune paired with a 55,000 rupees stage 3 TCU tune. That's a total of 2.65 lakh rupees in performance mods alone. Not bad for a rear-wheel drive car pushing 300 horsepower. The owner has even opted for a set of HRE replicas worth another 2 lakh rupees, but honestly, you can leave the stock wheels and enjoy a proper sleeper build while still enjoying in the luxury of the interior. This being the latest version of the XE to ever be sold, you still get quite a lot of modern features inside the cabin. You have a beautiful screen, a digital cluster, and CarPlay, even though it is wired. But what really takes you aback in the cabin of the XE is the real feeling of luxury in here. Everything you touch feels expensive, perennial. This place reminds you that you are inside a car that people want to be in. I low-key feel underdressed in here, like you need to be dressed up to drive a car like this. Now, if you had to ask me, would I pick the XE over a VRS or a 330i as an unbiased car reviewer, I would say not over a VRS, because the potential of a VRS is just that much higher. However, if I need something luxurious and something that would stand out and something that was a bit sporty, then the XE does make a really good case for itself compared to the 330i, because you get quite a lot of toys at a really good price, because thank you depreciation, and honestly it's not that expensive to run, so you get a really good deal. 25 lakhs for a car that sounds this nice, goes this fast, and basically turns these many heads. I think it's a great deal. What are your thoughts about it? Do let us know in the comments down below. Would you pick the 330i or would you pick this XE? I'm kinda tempted to pick the XE. Listen to it. Okay, I'm done. Bye.